Hey guys, this week on Fishing with Rannon, I'm here in the decoy shop with Larry Lang. And Larry's got a ton of experience when it comes to spearing. I mean, there's probably not much he doesn't know. So he's going to give us a few tips and tricks when we're going to go out there spearing.
I've only been doing it for about 62 years, 3 years, so I kind of know a little bit about it. And I've been making them for that long. One of the most used decoys are red and white. Seems like that's what they Northerns kind of like a red and white daredevil was good.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what they call a jig stick. It's a fancy one, but most of the time they got a reel up in the house on an old reel or a rattle wheel or something. And these are weighted. These decoys are weighted, and they swim like they really glide around in the water. And then you don't run it all the time, but it seems like the more you run them, the faster they come in.
Okay.
So if you can, let it set for a while, a lot of times they'll just get curious and they'll just kind of sneak in. And then here is a Lorne Jelly spear, and you get one on there, you got to cut it off. Okay. Most of the time they'll come in halfway decent. You gotta spear them right behind the gills, right behind the head. You try to get them dead center if you can, but most of the time it ain't all that easy. They can get kind of wild. And then what you do if red and white don't work? Now lately, orange and white one has been good around here. But I make all different kinds. What happens, it seems like, see, I've been spearing for 3 years, and you'll get a big one or 2, 3 on a certain color decoys, and that gets embedded in you, and that's your favorite decoy.
I know how that goes.
And that's just like a lure, a plug or something. So then you end up using a red and white one the most of the time.
Do you notice a preference in color compared to like
different lakes? Different lakes got different,
dirty water, brighter colors.
Yeah.
Or?
And like ottertail, they like I don't know if it's perchy looking. Gee, it seems like they like that color.
Okay.
And like little pine, big pine, red and white is a pretty good color all over. It's pretty standard color. Here's a couple. Here's a 21 pounder. Came off of a orangey white bellied one like this, but it's orange. Like that one there. And the next day a 13 pounder came off of it. So if you want to get a decent big fish on these local lakes around Permian here, you gotta have, first thing you gotta have is an Uncle Larry decoy. Else you might you might get skunked.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta have a good decoy. And patience. You gotta have a lot of patience.
Is there any kind of certain spots you look for when you go out? Do you focus on weed beds or sandbars?
I like 8, 9, 10 feet of water. I like on kind of on a drop off. Weed beds are good. What I like to do is, I've seen guys run their decoy in 9 foot of water, 8 feet deep. I like that. My theory is kind of like a third of the way down, like 9 foot of water, 3 feet, 3, 4 feet. You get down there and you get too deep, it's harder to hit them.
I bet.
And they, it's better to have them. I don't know. I like to let them come to you. Don't have to. I don't like to have to work for them. I like to be able to get them in there halfway decent.
How about size of your decoys? Bigger fish, bigger decoys, or?
No, not really. I got some guys that will like a 10, 12, 15-inch decoy. And I've made this is probably like a 7-inch. And even a little teeny, like a 3-inch red and white one, they're good, you know.
Huh?
If they're feeding and curious, I think a lot of it is curious. They'll come in and a lot of people use live suckers, you know. And I've used live suckers with my decoys, and I've had, you know, both of them in the hole at one time. And they'll either come into the decoy and then they'll kind of move over to the sucker minnow, or the vice versa. So I don't know. It's costly to use live decoys all the time because they kill them quite often. You know, they'll come in and hit them.
Can't have a favorite one. They're gone every day.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I don't know what else I should tell you. I was born and raised up in Star Lake area, out west of Dent, and that was my favorite lake, Star Lake. And there were some big fish. I was in a house, 18.5 was the biggest I got out of that Star Lake, but I was in a house with a 20-pounder. Oscar Peterson speared a 28 right beside me, which is hard to come by nowadays.
Yeah.
You don't see too many of them that big.
So you got any other tips or tricks for us?
Patience and an Uncle Larry's decoy.
That sounds good.
If you need Uncle Larry's decoy, we got the show, The Gathering. It's coming up in
April 11th?
April 11th and 12th. I'll be there and selling decoys, so you'll get...
You better get there fast. Those usually sold out by the first day.
And then... I'm not. If you get over your limit, that's not my fault. That's it's all in your hands.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Larry. It was very informational. Join us next week. We're going to be out in the water using these tips and tricks and see if we can't spear ourselves a big one.